So those of you that are in the room with your mom, hug them tight. But what would you like for us to take away from that? What would you like for the reader to know more intimately about you and how those two separate lives that you had together and the tough decisions you made and the risk that you had to take, and even growing up with dyslexia and all that, like, what do you want us to take from that and where you are today?
Well, that like so many folks, I put a mask on and my face was starting to grow into it. I was trying to be someone I was not. It wasn't that I was inauthentic, it just I wasn't who I am. I sweaty hands, nervous, just trying to put on a facade. And my mom saw that. She saw those cracks in that mask, and she challenged me. And so it's a story about resilience, redemption. It's a story about humility and grace. I don't want to dream of regretting anymore. No coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's all out there. I just want to put it all out there. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. You've never seen me read a speech.
And so he has a problem reading, particularly don't want to read in front of people if the words get jumbled because of the way your brain is wired, right? So that's what he was doing. He was referring to himself and how his mom kind of challenged him that you got to move beyond it. You got to still go for big things. And the Republicans, oh God, they clipped this thing up. They clipped this thing up and made it look like this.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
They start dragging him, right? Because they feel that what he's doing is talking down to Black Americans. Because it looks bad because he's talking to a black guy. If you just saw that, and that's all you saw, yeah, it seemed like he was talking directly to the black guy. And it's like, and he's saying that I'm dumb just like you. We both dumb, see? I can't read either. Oh man, this is so easy, man. This cheat code, man, called race. Yeah, man. Anytime you want to, you could just turn a switch, take anybody out of context and make them racist. It reminds me of Donald Trump when he said, about the Charlottesville riots, protests that were taking place. And he was like, there were good people on both sides. And he said, I'm not talking about the white nationalists, the white supremacists, neo-Nazis. I'm not talking about them. Those are horrible people. They should not be in our society, blah, blah, blah. And the Democrats cut him off before he said, I'm not talking about white nationalists. And they ran it and said, see? He said it was good people on both sides. He said white nationalists are good people. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing that was done to Trump. Now they doing it to Gavin Newsom. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Have a hard time feeling bad about it. Yeah, man, I can't feel bad about it. You did the same thing to Trump. It's what politicians do. They take people out of context.
I would never understand the level of black people that's allowing Gavin Newsom to dumb himself down to try to say he like us. He is literally trying to dumb himself down to be relatable to black people. Are y'all serious right now? I said, I'm just like y'all. I got a 960 on my ACT. I can't read. Like, seriously? And this is okay? That's not racist? If a person ever feels like they have to dumb themselves down to be relatable to me, that's somebody you will never, ever, ever have to worry about me being around, associating with, or anything ever in life.
Now, if I asked her about Jasmine Crockett, and I say, what about Jasmine Crockett? She starts stuttering. She starts beatboxing. Yeah, I start asking about, well, what about Jasmine Crockett? Does this apply to her? When she talking down to black people, talking like Pookie this and Bebe this and that and all that stuff, and Bebe ain't doing the neck ringing and stuff. Does that seem like she's talking down to you? No. I'm sure. I got a good feeling. I can't be sure because I don't know his sister. I don't know her.
The Democratic Party needs to be, dare I say, more culturally normal. I believe that. Less prone to spending disproportionate amount of time on pronouns, identity, politics. More focused on tabletop issues, things that really matter, the stacking of stress in terms of electricity bills and child care costs and health care and obviously housing costs, and how easily we get trapped in that, how I've fallen prey to that. I mean, here I was, way out front on marriage equality, so I understand this.
This guy's like, even I fell prey to this? No, you didn't fall prey to it. You repeated whatever talking points the Democratic Party was on because you thought it was a winner for you. And that's my thing about Gavin Newsom. He's not authentic. He doesn't have integrity. He was the one selling people on the pronouns and other bullshit, stupid sayings like Latinx, which nobody asked for, because that's what the Democratic Party was on, and he thought it was a winner and it was going to help him. It wasn't because he was trapped in some thought process. These politicians elected to office are not just regular people who are watching news or watching TV, who are subjected to whatever's going on in the environment, what's ever happening in the culture. Part of being a political operative is setting culture. So when the Democrats was heavy on the pronouns and he, she, they, them, all that stuff, and all on this identity stuff and all, that was a structured strategy, a scheme. That was a play. That was not a mistake. He did it intentionally, Johnson. The Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter, all of it, the Dreamers, everything that they've done was a strategy, okay? Not, oh, the Times, this was the Times, this was, no, because they're too tied in with media to play that game. They're too connected with all the mainstream corporate media to pretend that they just got caught up in the whirlwind. No, they are the whirlwind. They're setting tones. They're firing people, killing careers of people that don't follow their tone. They're ruining people's lives based on if they fall in line with their tone. And then they want to come later when they switch and be like, hey, well, I made mistakes and I was, trying to figure it out because things were moving beyond me.
I'm not down with Gavin Newsom because my issue with Gavin Newsom is like, listen, you look great in those blue suits. You're very articulate, very smart, very quick-witted. I love how you've been trolling Trump because I thought that was necessary, in order to compete with Trump. But I can't ignore the fact that you're number one in unemployment, number one in homelessness and poverty and all of this other stuff and the price of the affordability issues in California. I can't ignore all of that. I can't ignore the fact that there's no way I can see you winning an election with some of the things that have been happening in the state of California.
My issues with Gavin Newsom are real issues. That homelessness rate. Oh, God. What's going on in Los Angeles? Where Black Americans are 7% of the population and 40% of the homeless population, I'll never elect somebody who allow their state to be that bad. I think that Gavin Newsom is inauthentic too, doing a bunch of theatrics in order to help his career, just like Jasmine Crockett. They're doing the same thing. So how did Gavin Newsom respond to all this chatter about, him sharing his dyslexia with an audience of white folks, and it was in Atlanta, so I get why some people thought it was a black audience. But it wasn't. It looked like 95% white folks. Look at the crowd here, Johnson. This is important. I'm just saying, looks like a lot of white people. Yeah, my white meter just went off. It's going kind of haywire here. A lot of white people in that audience. So Sean Hannity of Fox News said this. At Gavin Newsom, he thinks the 960 SATs makes him like Black Americans. Let that sink in. We all know the truth, right? But check out what Gavin's response was. He says, you didn't give a shit about the President of the United States of America posting an ape video of President Obama calling African nations shitholes. But you're going to call me racist for talking about my lifelong struggle with dyslexia? Spare me your fake fucking outrage, Sean. Like I said, I have a hard time feeling bad about Gavin Newsom. He's a politician, so I refuse to feel bad about him getting what politicians always get. If Gavin Newsom was fighting for us, maybe then I would feel like maybe he deserves back support. But nah. In my opinion, Gavin Newsom is fighting for Gavin Newsom. He's not fighting for you. He ain't fighting for me. He's fighting for him. So let him fight for him. I would just point out that Gavin Newsom knows how to fight. So he was in Atlanta. This is Gavin in South Carolina promoting his book. Look what he says about Kamala Harris.
And for those that don't know Willie Brown, you wouldn't know Kamala Harris without Willie Brown.
Damn. Now, I know what you're thinking. Tim Blackton doesn't seem like a low blow. Yeah, this is a low blow if you know anything about Kamala Harris and Willie Brown. You know that Willie Brown was the older gentleman that she was sleeping with while he was married that gave her her start in politics. Yeah, what I'm trying to tell you, man, is the Democrats play dirty, Johnson. Yeah. You know what people are saying, yo, man, we need to stop being so petty and why are you being petty and we need to rise above pettiness. I need you to recognize politicians are petty. Media people are petty. It's a petty world. Petty Pendergrass. It is petty, petty, petty. And that's what I'm saying, Black America. We get used for everything. Everything that happens in this country seems pretty much, it's like, for like 2 seconds now, what's been on the Latino Americans, the Somalis. But whenever they want to come back, they need to get a couple points on the board. They know exactly where to go. Black America. Want direct access to ask questions, interact, and chop it up? Become a VIP member. Go to jointimblack.com. Stay dangerous. Want direct access to ask questions, interact, and chop it up? Become a VIP member. Go to jointimblack.com. Stay dangerous.